All right, here we go. Day 236, 365 days toward racial change. My name is Tom Nyback, and we're here talking about racial issues in America. Oh, we're talking about economics, politics, especially the next couple days. And, oh, did I say economics? Well, that's a big one. That's a big motivation for a lot of Dr. Anderson's work, is the economic disparity and how we look and delve into the historical factual precedents in America that support that's the atmosphere or soil from which black economic disadvantages grow here in America. So what we got plenty of material, 400 years worth, 500 years worth, actually in the perpetuity. What happened to black folks in America as far as slavery was extreme, but notice I don't recognize black disadvantages, all this stuff. This is global. White skin holds sway, holds power, holds control. Um, Mentioned just the other day, I just saw a little splash across my television as I was uh, listening to some CNN, and South Africans are um, asserting themselves there to the white regime. You know, um, their dynamic may be much like the dynamic that happened here in America, where we got a black president, and where some people in power in the white establishment say that boy, that's an obvious demonstration that racism and all the issues between black and white folks is healed, and we can finally put to rest um, blackness and whiteness and disadvantage in America. We have a black president, and we're cured as a nation. Well, I think South America may have had that same idea as Nelson Mandela came to power, but you do wonder how much power these black men really exercised in that arena, right? How much control did they exert, immersed in um, a power created by whites, for whites, and administered by whites. They couldn't have, and they didn't have any exclusive agendas aimed at black folks and all this stuff. They had to be inclusive and all that. They couldn't stir and shake the pot. You know, um, Based on that, I'm of the mind like black people don't get to be included. We don't get um, the economic advantages or equal participation due to us. Um, and we don't get it when we support the white establishment, white power, the white system. Uh, Therefore, I'm going to save my energy and withhold my support for anyone until they get on the program with making black life better as a commonplace in America, just like the other groups. So hence we're into our talking about voting in America and how blacks should vote and behave and stuff like that, which is it's important. What is the black thinking, the black mental attitude based on a lot of obvious facts. I mean, we got plenty of history to look at. We got James Madison. We've got conversations in politics. We have historical ideas and historical dates, activities, all across the nation. We've got lynching, murders, and all this. So what's the mentality, of a black person? What's proper, acceptable, based on this, domestic terrorism against black folks, black issues, black concerns. It's the only topic. We talk about stuff you don't talk about around the dinner table or at holidays, politics and all that stuff. Better not talk black or race issues anywhere. And that goes for blacks, whites, probably everybody. Whenever I bring up this project, talk about racial concerns, the response is usually quick, and it's usually as that comes in it's positioned in a way that it's a subject that people want to get away from ASAP. I think I have only family members, maybe one or two white folks, who will engage the conversation. Everybody else gives me attaboy, that's good, and they move off away into the sunset. What's the white line? The privilege, favor, power in the world, overt. I'm concerned about that because you wonder what's going to happen if history ever collectively pushes back on that, turns that table, or at least brings some equalization in the world. What's going to be the response to that? I know history shows us that jealous whites are liable to shoot black people dead in the street. I don't have the exact reference, but the story of a man, he was in town, he got a car. I guess he was the first black person to get a car in town, and he was doing well and stuff. White man walks up to him, shoots him dead in the street. This is a historical event. Right? It just came off the top of my head. I don't have a reference right now. But you can find a lot of. Think about all of the sacked communities. Look up Google Black Wall Street, and some of these other communities, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Roseville, and whatnot. That's the response when black people, not everybody else, you don't see any other community, young people that come close to that and compete with that are the Native Americans in America. Those poor individuals were slaughtered, almost back to non-existence. It was a genocide event towards them. So you got to give them their respect and their props. But they were swept away. They at least they weren't taken and controlled for hundreds of years. So you can think about that. Right? But what's the white response if power starts to migrate in the direction of black folks as a common occurrence? Got plenty of athletes and entertainers, outliers of black success, but the overall condition of black experience in America is it's privation, marginalization, exclusion. It's it's uh, it's all these challenges arise for those with black skin in the nation and the world. You know. Also, I'm concerned about black financial literacy. How do blacks handle their money? Do they understand? Oh, the media is just giving you the tip of the iceberg and sound bites and getting an emotional response to keep us tuned in and plugged in and confuse us. But do we know how money's working? Do we know financial cycles are engineered by very powerful people, scientists at the helm of financial cycles in America? Read a book by G. Edward Griffin called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I won't expound on the claims in that book, but it's very telling. It's interesting to think about, at least whether you believe in its validity or not. Very important. I'm encouraged to go on this year-long quest by a man named Dr. Claude Anderson. And he talks about these issues much better than I. He goes around the country, he's circuit talking. He's been involved in the some of the highest echelons of power in the United States, rubbed shoulders with President Jimmy Carter for a time, highly involved with education in Florida and Michigan. Read 3 of his works. First one was a Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask were in that text, looking at voting principles today for the next couple days as well. Black Labor, White Wealth, Search for Power and Economic Justice, and Dr. Anderson's National Plan to Empower Black America. Powernomics. You can find Dr. Anderson at powernomics.com. Behind me, you'll see the hashtag #S2 symbol. And you'll find black women there supporting one another, having conversations around those issues. Check out Black Enough, BLAGGENUF, kind of a black Facebook experience. And if you can't find your flavor or voice on the World Wide Web with billions and millions of pages and links and stuff, do what I did. Start your own little conversation and get a private email list that I have. You never know where to go. This is kind of unburdening myself from America's racism towards me. I'm naming it and owning a lot of great stuff that's giving me a lot of relief. And finally, we do have story time. It's not all historical factual, it's fictional historical factual. But very good book. And look, that's not a thin pamphlet on propaganda about slavery and freedom and stuff like that. So that's a serious book. And so we go in there and have a lot of conversations on points about that. Day 236. And we're going through, stepping through Dr. Anderson's points. 6 points. He likes 6 points. If I ever meet him, I hope I can remember to ask him about why 6 is so significant. I'm sure there's more. But usually, when he has a list, it's in 6s. It's interesting. I just noticed that today. Anyway, point number 2 today, there is negotiate quid pro quo agreements with candidates and parties. Quid pro quo, something for something. It is, maybe you've seen it on TV. I think Silence of the Lambs, actually. Where Lecter tells the FBI agent, quid pro quo, right? He'll divulge, he'll deliver something, but she's got, Clarice has to contribute something deep. She's presented with doctor of psychology and stuff, so she can't escape and lie to him. But something for something, he'll give her a clue to the serial killer if she delivers something vulnerable about her experience as a child, which comes up actually. Same kind of demands that Black Americans need to be more consistent with and more, applying better pressure to what they want out of politicians. If they support the politician, send the politician to Washington or a seat of government or representing them, then, in return, they want their needs met or whatever platform issue that got those votes going, that got people to go on the ballot, go to the polls, then rightfully they're expecting something in return. Politics is powerful. I'm sure each of the politicians are at various economic levels in their life. Cory Booker, he says he still lives in his original neighborhood, high violence neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey. But I'm sure he's got some benefits being a politician, being as visible in public as he is. There's some benefits that go with that. A president that finishes their term as president or gets Secret Service for the rest of their lives. They're under get some level of protection. It's not like me, a blue collar worker, go do some important political thing, and then I just come home and go back to digging ditches or something like that. Not so for politics. As you ascend, the mayor of a small town can probably go back to digging ditches and totally be fine about that. Senator, representative, Supreme Court justice, some of those big name political positions in America, you're kind of set for life as long as you keep your ducks in a row. Many of the politicians are millionaires, billionaires, right? Bushes from Texas, oil people, things like that. Billionaire president we have today, his name is the brand, and it carries a lot of weight. It's had a lot of gain there, right? So, for Black people to ask, require that these political individuals deliver, it's not a big thing, on the surface for them to do that. Now, granted, politics it's a complicated animal, and there's finesse, and there's power, there's money, and all this stuff with that. And so, Dr. Anderson's point here with quid pro quo is, to get these politicians who take our support and our interest and get us to put that check mark or pull that lever for them. They got a responsibility to deliver on whatever issue they're running on. Right? We gave them power, sent them there. We just want them to finish and fulfill their commitments when they get, you know, when they get settled in there. Another big thing about this quid pro quo, though, is recognizing, can a white person accurately represent black interest? Does a white person, what's a white person doing, articulating, arguing black challenges? And I'd say, like, all the information might be correct, maybe even some emotion in there and whatnot, but do they capture the essence of black concerns in front of America's white power system? Is it possible? Is it accurate? Right? Now, history shows us that that's what happened. That's what went on. But it was a few minor instances where black folks were mentioned because of the possibility of voting rights, suffrage, back in the creation of the Constitution, and black folks are considered because the white establishment wasn't sure where to place them in the idea of representation. One extreme group wanted them to vote. Another extreme group says, no, don't let them vote, but let their numbers be representative of white interest. Right? So white, that's a prefixed human being conversation and argument. Every 5 slaves represented 3 votes, 3 individuals in the halls of power. So you had that dynamic going on, but it was all white people, white men sitting around, making these decisions. Not a black man. Like, they didn't call Fred off the plantation out the field to come and deliver a stirring address for any Congress or anything like that. We're talking systemically, historically, white America had a pretty fair majority white slave ownership, Supreme Court, representatives, all of that, slave owners. So you're not going to get a whole lot of positive black traction from this collection of white men. So, historically, black people just aren't represented. President Obama, we talked about President Obama a couple of days ago, and asked, okay, get in there, what you want to do for black people. He quickly catches himself and says, no, I'm going to do stuff for all people. Right? That once again, black hopes get pushed to the side, delayed, passed over. Reserve that conversation for later. Keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. So blacks need to follow this advice here on Dr. Anderson, the quid pro quo, and we need to have that accountability. If they fail to deliver, they got to know that we either have the power to get them out of office right then and there, or they're going to know that they're not receiving any black support later on at re-election time. That could hurt them. If, and, Dr. Anderson, he's very adamant about if black people did withdraw from the political process, that would turn some heads. Black people collectively doing something for their own interest. And it's counterintuitive. You would think, okay, if black people withdrew collectively en masse, then other groups would climb over. Well, for one thing, other groups are already there. That's a dynamic that happens even when black people participate. It'd be nice to do something collectively en masse, counterintuitively, to say, we're unsatisfied here in America, and you can't tell us to go anywhere else because we are citizens, and we have a right to be displeased with how America is getting along without us, and not making our lives better, not reinvesting in our communities, not cleaning up our communities that are near toxic industrial sites. I mean, how about it? Think about it. The people that work these spaces are a lot like the people that ran missions places that I had to take advantage of through my addiction. They come all into the inner city in the daytime, and if it was nighttime, they got escorts. Us black men would escort them in the evening, and but they go home. They get on the highway, the freeway, to some quiet, woodsy suburbia. Even if they're in a high rise, it's a good community in which they're living, right? Same way with these industrial workers and people. They're well paid, and they have vehicles, and they leave and go away. Their children aren't exposed to toxic waste and put at risk. So our black leaders, representatives, everything that needs to be properly handled and managed. For black people to get recognized, have some advantage, it's on the surface it's simple as going to your fast food restaurant. That cashier is your politician. You give them $1, they give you a burger. That's the agreement. That's a very simplified explanation, but it is the desirable dynamic for voting for these politicians. We'll see what happens next year, November 2020. We've got a little more than a year to go. It's going to be interesting to see. Therefore, we just got to stay tuned in, see if black folks come together. A lot of this rests on black folks coming together. We've got a lot of separate communities, and pretty powerful ones too, but we're going to have to work on our end about coming together and making some of these ideas happen. Now, the time, I don't want to hold you hostage. That's day 236 out of the way, in the pocket. We're moving right along. I'm Tomlin's Nyback. That's 365 days towards racial change. I will see you tomorrow. Let's do it.